Hey people, I welcome you back to Caroline's Online Academy. This is the third video in the series of past adjustment problems. And in this question, I'm going to tackle two problems. One in both the problems in which the opening capital of the partners is not given, one in which the drawings had been adjusted, and the other in which drawings had not been adjusted. You'll understand when I solve the problems what I'm talking about. Now, first, let's look at a problem in which drawings had been adjusted to capital account and the opening capital is not given. On 31st March 2017, the balance in the capital accounts of Elwan, Monu, and Ahmed, after making adjustments for profits, drawings, etc., were 80,000, 60,000, and 40,000 respectively. Subsequently, it was discovered that interest on capital and interest on drawings had been omitted. So, interest on capital and interest on drawing had not been charged. The partners were entitled to interest on capital at the rate of 5% per annum. The drawings during the year were 11 20,000, Mono 15,000, and Ahmed 9,000. Interest on drawings chargeable to partners were 11,500, Mono 360, and Ahmed 200. The net profit during the year amounted to 1,20,000. Profit sharing ratio was 3 is to 2 is to 1. Record the necessary adjustment. Seems like a very innocent problem. Everything seems to be so easy, just like the earlier problems that we had solved. But there is one small problem here. They haven't charged interest on capital, which means we'll have to find out the interest on capital amount and charge it. But the small problem with that is they haven't given the opening capital. They've given the capital on March 31, 2017, which happens to be the closing capital of the year. So in order to find out the opening capital, we got to do a small working note, which happens to be the additional thing that you need to do in problems where they have not given opening capital. Anyway, let's go ahead and start solving the problem. So the issue here it is an omission problem, that is interest on capital has not been provided, drawings has not been provided, the profits have been distributed without providing for anything, which means that the profit would have been distributed in the old profit sharing ratio, uh, and that will be wrongly credited because it is a wrong profit. And here it is 3 is to 2 is to 1. That is 3 by 6, 1,20,000 into 2 by 6, 1,20,000 into 1 by 6. All right. Now we go to be credited. And to be credited, the first thing that we need to find is the interest on capital. In order to find the interest on capital, we need the opening capital and the rate of interest. The rate of interest has been given as 5% per annum, but the opening capital has not been given. Instead, they've given the closing capital. That is on they've given the capital on March 31st, 2017. So using the closing capital, we need to work backwards to find the opening capital. And the working note for that would be, my dear children, this working note to calculation of opening capital. Actually, it will be working note one because it's only after this that we can find the brackets. So this is working note one of the brackets. Anyway, so finding opening capital from closing capital is very simple, my dear children. We make separate columns for each of the partners. Closing capital, add drawings, less share of profits, will arrive at the opening capital. Now, in this question, we don't have additional investments or interest on drawings has not been provided, so I'm not adjusted for them. Understood or not? So the closing capital happens to be 80,000, 60,000, and 40,000 as per the question. 80,000, 60,000, 40,000. You got to add the drawings back, and the drawings happen to be 20,000, 15,000, and 19,000 as given in the question here. 20,000, 15,000, 20,000, 10,000, and 9,000. And share of profits, we just computed the share of profit 60, 40, and 20. That is the wrong profit that was credited. 60, 40, 20. And therefore, my dear children, the opening balance of capital for 11 would be 80,000 plus 20,000 minus 60,000. That is 40,000, 35,000, and 29,000, my dear children. So the interest on capital has to be provided at the rate of 5% per annum. It will be 40,000 into 5%. 35,000 into 5%, 29,000 into 5%. Interest on drawings, my dear children, has been given in the question. It is 500, 360, and 200. They omitted, now we have to provide. It should be written as a negative number. 500, 360, and 200. That's done. Salary or commission is not there in this question, my dear children. And the share of profits, we'll have to find out the new share of profits for which we do this working note. The profit before adjustment is 1,20,000, and interest on capital is to be subtracted. Salary or commission will be subtracted. Interest on drawings will be added. That is 1,15,860, my dear children. So this 1,15,860 will be 3 by 6, 1,15,860 into 3 by 6, 1,15,860 into 1 by 6. So what we find is, as far as 11 is concerned, he's been wrongly credited 60,000. He was supposed to be credited only 59,430, and therefore 11 will be debited. And Monu and Nisha to be credited. Ahmed. All right, my dear children, with that, we've come to the end of this problem. I have another problem for you in which the calculation of opening capital is slightly different. Understood? So let's go ahead and solve that problem. So in this question, Manu and Shristi are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio 3:2. Following is the balance sheet of the firm as on March 31, 2017. Balance sheet as on March 31, 2017. Manu's capital 30,000, Shristi's capital 10,000, 40,000. Drawings Manu 4,000, Shristi 2,000. Other assets happen to be 34,000. Profits during the year ended March 31, 2017 was 5,000, which was divided in the agreed ratio, but 5% per annum on interest per annum on capital and 6% per annum on drawings was omitted. So interest on capital and interest on drawings have been omitted. Adjust interest on drawings at an average basis of 6 months. Okay. So they distributed the profits without uh, interest on charging for interest on capital and interest on drawings. So wrongly credited would be the profits that were distributed without making those adjustments. So 5,000 into 3 by 5, 5,000 into 2 by 5. Now, in order to calculate interest on capital, we need to calculate the opening capital of Manu and Srishti. The closing capital of Manu and Srishti from the balance sheet are 30,000 and 10,000. Now, in this question, I will not do drawings. Why will I not do drawings, my dear children? Because if you look at the balance sheet, drawings account is still open in the balance sheet. The drawings account has been open in the balance sheet. It has not been deducted from capital. So in order to find the opening capital, I will not add it back. So if drawings account is open in the balance sheet, will not add it back while calculating the opening capital. And share of profits here is, my dear children, 3,000 and 1,000, right? So that will leave us with 27,000 and 8,000. Interest on capital is to be provided at the rate of 5% per annum as per the question here. This will be 27,000 into 5% and 8,000 into 5%. Am I right or not, my dear children? Yes. And interest on drawings is to be provided at the rate of 6% per annum. Interest on drawings is always provided as a negative number. Drawings amount is given as 4,000 and 2,000 in the question. So we calculate interest on drawings on that. Minus 4,000 into 6% into 6 divided by 12. We've been told to calculate the rate of 6% per annum for an average period of 6 months. So I'm doing 6 divided by 12. 3,000. Understood or not, my dear children? So the total of A and total of B is total of A is 3,000 and total of B for Srishti is 1,230. Oh, we're not done with the share of profits. I'm sorry. Share of profits, my dear children. The earlier profits were 5,000. Interest on capital was 1,750. There's no salary or commission. Interest on drawings happens to be minus 180. And therefore, the new profit is 3,430. So 3,430 is a correct profit into 3 by 5, 3,000, 30 into 2 by 5, no profit sharing ratio. We find that wrongly credited for Manu is 3,000, but to be credited is 3,218. For Manu will be credited and 60 will be debited. So 60 is capital account debit. Manu's capital 288 and with this, we have come to the end of this problem, my dear children. Please do, in case you didn't understand anything, please do go back and refer. I've tried to explain everything in the question, and as it is 2 days before the board exam, I'm not given the logic in detail for all the questions. Probably I'll do it in another video, another series, and scrap the set of videos to be permanently stay to permanently keep in the uh, channel. But for now, for the people who've already prepared, there should be more than all right, my dear children, in the next video, I'll come up with problems where they have not given the profits itself. They try to make it tricky by not giving you the actual profit. You don't know the profit itself. In case they haven't given the profits, then how to go ahead and that I will teach you in the next video, my dear children, with a couple of questions. Until then, you people take care and have fun. Happy learning.